Very freely. It's kind of a tricky match today, but what do you think about Ulinzi Stars?
They're well untested. They come into this game with the best offensive team, as the best offensive team in the KPL. 22 goals they've scored. Waruru himself has scored 10 goals. He's actually backed up by Daniel Waweru, who has 6 assists and is the best in terms of assists. So that simply tells you that Ulinzi actually comes here with a very good offensive team. However, their defense has not been all that sharp. Scored 22, they've conceded 15. Now that becomes a worry. And if Nakumatt actually capitalize on that, then they can have an upper hand in this game. But let's remember that Ulinzi, 4-time champions. Nakumatt in this league for the first time. Ulinzi is placed third. A win will take them to the top of the table. So they come with, as much as their past form in the last 3 games is not so good, because they have a loss and 2 draws. But let's remember that the last draw was actually against Gor, who are leading 2-0, and they came from behind. So that tells you that Ulinzi is the kind of team that on a good day will come from behind and match anyone.
All right. You have details about the 2 teams. What do you think about the match today?
About the match today?
Yeah.
When you look at form, if you look at Ulinzi's away record, the away record, a draw. The last game, it was a loss. The game before that was a win. So in terms of away games, they're not doing too good. If you look at Nakumatt, the last 4 games have been 2-1 wins.
All right.
Over Mathare, over Sofapaka, Chemelil.
Okay.
So they look very good, and I think it's a game for Nakumatt to lose.
All right, there we have it. Of course, that's Nakumatt taking on Ulinzi Stars in a few. As you have heard from Korir himself, he says it's a hard not much actually to call by, but again, you never know. It's a match of football. I'll see you at halftime.
And welcome to the second leg of the Sport Pesa Premier League, brought to you live and free on Bamba Sport. My name is Peter Kirumba. Today we have 2 matches on the cards. It's a double header here. Nakumatt FC coming to play Ulinzi Stars. All the soldiers are here already, and the Sport Pesa Premier League round of 16 is live on Bamba Sport and Kiss TV here from here at the Ruaraka Stadium. Wonderful weather for football. An absolutely wonderful weather for football here. We can see the ball boys coming in there. The referees already leading the pack. You can see Nakumatt FC, which is the home team, wearing blue. You can see familiar faces there, getting into the pitch to do business. They've been doing quite impressively. It's very difficult to even remember that they're debutants in this league. And to bring you this, my name is Peter Kirumba. I am in the company of my colleague and friend, Patrick Korir. Going to do the 90 minutes here for this first one. Nakumatt FC playing Ulinzi, the Kenya Defence Forces side, all the way from Nakuru. Coming to see whether they will be able to collect all 3 points from Ruaraka here. They have not been very fortunate in the last few weeks. Nakumatt doing a bit better than them. Remember, 2 weeks ago they beat Sofapaka on this pitch. They won 2-1 against Sofapaka. 2 weeks ago here. One of the games that we expect to see a lot of football from. Korir, what do you think about the state of the pitch, the condition of the pitch?
Well, the state of the pitch could be better, but I think this is just a story of Kenyan pitches and football. We either get used to it or we fix them. But I think over time we've decided to just get used to them.
But I think going by what I saw at Kasarani, I think we can do much, much better than this.
Oh yeah, that was an eye-opener, because who thought we could actually get to that level? And it means we can actually get serious at some point. So, but I think the challenge goes straight to one of the teams with the best resources in this country. Someone needs to be explaining why we're looking at a pitch with brown grass.
Fantastic weather for football.
Yeah, I think so too. It's cool, although it's a bit humid. But I think for players, it doesn't really matter whether it's hot, cold, rainy. When they get to the pitch, they're all looking for 3 points.
Most definitely. I can see the Nakumatt lineup will be coming to us in a minute or two. But the KDF side not looking very bad today.
Well, let's start by kitting. I think they look sharp. They look excellent. And people say when a team wears white, you need to be aware of the potency they come with. And I think that's what they're looking at Ulinzi.
But looking at both the teams, I think Nakumatt have been faring quite well.
Oh, they have. I was just looking at their record. And if I just sieve down to home games, would you know, Peter, that in the last 6 games, they've won 5. And they've actually drawn once. So they look really good in terms of home games. It's the kind of team that you have to fear when you're coming to face them at home. In the last 4 games, they won 2-1 against Sofapaka, one of the teams that revamped really well during June. Before that, they're taken out Mathare, they're taken out Chemelil, and Thika, 2-1, all of them at home.
Yeah, doing very well here, Ulinzi Stars. As you can see them on your screen. I can see their goalkeeper there, Jackson Odhiambo. It's been quite a while since we've met with Jackson.
Well, that's actually Sammy Okinda.
Sammy
Jackson
Okinda
is on the other side.
Yeah, that is Sammy Okinda. But when you come to look at a team like Ulinzi Stars, one of the most resilient sides, I remember in Kisumu, coming from 2 goals down to draw 2-2.
Well, Peter, that simply tells you that they can never be down and out. You're losing 2-0. It's a 70-something minute. You get your first goal. So what that does, it either wakes up the team that is leading, or it wakes up the team that is chasing the game. And that happened to be Ulinzi. And deep down, as the game was winding down, they actually scored the equalizing goal, which, if you look at it, that was actually more of a win for Ulinzi.
One of the teams that has boasted some of the most prolific goal scorers. We remember Makwata. We remember even in 2010, we had Stephen Waruru taking the Golden Boot in 2010 with 13 goals. This season, I remember he's on 10 already, and it's mid-season, so it can only get better.
Yeah, that's very true, and it actually tells you that in the past few seasons when he was out on the mission, the team actually missed him, and he's come back to actually prove that, you know what, I'm your main guy, and I can do this for you. And other than Waruru, his support cast looks really good, because you have Daniel Waweru, very good in free kicks.
And as they enter into the D area, the Nakumatt looking a bit shaky in defense. I believe they can only get better, Nakumatt, because I watched them against Sofapaka, and at some point I thought they were going to lose that match, only to turn it around.
Yeah, well, Peter, you have to look at the defense of Nakumatt. Okay, I think that is a good attempt by Nakumatt. Remember, that's Kefa Swani, 6 goals this season. Kefa
Swani was one of the strikers that I believe in this league. As Waruru touches the ball.
Well, he's well untested. He's well untested, and remember that when the season began, Nakumatt, remember, they've just been promoted. They needed quality, and Aswani was one of those players who was being chased around by very many clubs, including KCB. But Nakumatt gave him a good offer, so he came in. And so far, with 6 goals, he's the main striker.
Yeah, he's quite experienced, having played for Thika United and AFC Leopards.
Yeah. And don't forget the national team. He's also been there.
Yeah, he's a Kenyan international. Yeah. Former Kenyan international, rather.
Well, former nowadays is very relative. I'll remind you way back in the 90s when Fabish cleaned out the team, including the captain Sami Omolo. But 6 years later, Sianga brought him back to the team. So former sometimes is very relative, because you you can call someone former, but he is recalled.
Yeah, as the ball reaches the midfield there, you can see the Ulinzi jersey number 7, Nyango Samuel, gets a throw in for the KDF side. It has really started on a very high tempo, this one, and I believe every team is looking for the first goal, or at least to draw the first blood.
I think, Peter, what we're looking at is that both teams are trying to settle, trying to test each other. And most games, as it starts...
Close coming in teasingly in the box there.
Early minutes to try and see what the other team has to offer before now you get into your gameplay.
I think it will be a bit more easier for Ulinzi Stars if they continue bringing those crosses in the box, because it will be very difficult for the goalkeeper there to deal with those crosses. Like the first one you've just seen, he left it go begging, which is very dangerous for a goalkeeper to let the ball go across his goal.
That's very true. It will actually be very risky if you look at the quality of Waruru. If you look at his 10 goals, if you look at the finer part of the statistics, 3 of his goals have been headers. So teasing crosses like that, he can easily just bury them.
It is very dangerous, especially when you're dealing with talent such as Stephen Waruru, the Muloma Churchill, the tall boys of Ulinzi Stars. It's really dangerous letting those balls go across goal as they get their second throw. I think the ball is going out too many times. Thrown well, I think.
Yeah, but they've considered their foul.
They are conceding.
I think that was a bit needless.
It was a needless foul, that's for sure.
Especially when you're playing away and you're chasing points, and then you need to actually make use of some of these set pieces.
Especially when you're playing a team like Nakumatt, who have had at least 11 points out of a possible 15 in the last 5 matches. It has been quite a good ride for them, standing at number 9 on the standings. The KDF goalkeeper Jackton Odhiambo playing with Birgen Brian Bongi Omar. I will also call Bongi Omar a former Harambee Stars, a former international, as they try to ask my questions, and the ball is out. No, goalkeeper has it. I think they're still nobody exactly knows how to mark Stephen Waruru.
Exactly, and if you just look at that attempt, that was on his right foot. 7 of his goals have actually been off that right foot. So that means chances like that could actually be buried, and it's the kind of chances that Nakumatt could actually end up regretting. And I think how the defense is standing for Nakumatt is that they're yet to actually pick Ulinzi's play, because you can see there are too many gaps that Waruru is getting.
Yeah, he has too many gaps to manipulate back there inside the box, and it's becoming very difficult for them even to know where he is standing.
Exactly, yes, that's true, Peter. Not even that. If you also look at so far in these very early minutes, how many minutes are you doing now? The few minutes that we're doing,
yes,
is that you can actually see that Ulinzi is trying to make full use of the right wing.
Kefa Swani there, one of the boys that I believe in. With the kind of experience of Kefa Swani, I would expect him to have more goals than even Stephen Waruru. But Stephen Waruru being, I think, very net conscious, if I may add.
Now, you know, they say they're strikers and they're finishers, so sometimes you have to define who is who.
Yeah, I think Stephen Waruru is a very good finisher.
He's a finisher.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you need in a team.
And a very bad lounge there inside.
Yeah, I think that was quite a poor challenge.
That was a very bad challenge. I think the referee is going to go deep into his pockets.
Yeah, you remember we were talking about Ulinzi, and a lot of people say they're very physical.
They most definitely have to be physical there. Because I think their life is just physical. Omar Mbongi there
gets the first yellow of the game.
He gets the first yellow of the match.
And we hope that Musana will survive the game. It didn't look very good on him.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good. And, you know, the shoulders and the knees are some of the places where you don't touch players. Those places are very sensitive. Because, you know, you have to run and you have to twist your shoulders, and it becomes very difficult when you're in pain. When you're in distress, it becomes really difficult. And you can see Waruru alone is the only man who is
but anyway, we have to thank the magical ice. He'll come good. Already he's okay.
He's okay, and I think, I always say, football players are the best actors in the world. Hollywood should come look for Kenyan players.
But you know, no, but you know what?
Yeah.
We are never nowhere close to West Africans or North Africans for that matter. They know how to play, especially when they're leading. They have advantage of a game. They'll pull those moves all the time just to kill your flow of the game.
Yeah, and Njoroge John with a throw, popularly known as lefty.
Now him, you can now call him a former international.
Him is a former international.
Now him is a
but
former international.
He used to be in very good form.
Yeah, very good.
Especially in the year of 2012.
Yeah, that's very true. Remember there's a time when he was part of Kenya's defense and oh, that's a good shot.
That's a good shot, but
off target.
Most definitely, I've come to notice that most of our players can actually shoot, but precision has become a very big problem in this league.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes it's just how you aim, and but you know sometimes you can get a deflection and get a goal. Could be part of the bigger plan.
Most definitely. Don't you forget, you are on Bamba Sport, where it's live and it's free. This is the Sport Pesa Premier League.
Ooh,
as the goalkeeper comes out.
Yeah, I think, Peter, we're slowly beginning to see Nakumatt settle. I think they're stringing quite a number of passes.
Yeah,
moving a
Nakumatt
bit forward, and you can see they're taking it to the right wing, getting the crosses in.
They are really becoming very confident with minute by minute.
Yeah, I think the early minutes were a bit distorted, but I think communication has been key because you can hear people shouting from the bench.
I think there's also a lot of experience that people have not noticed in this Nakumatt side, because you can see there is Robert Omunuk. You remember him from Tusker?
Yes, I remember the last game when they were playing against Sofapaka. He's actually the one who scored both goals to actually win them that game.
Akenga Boniface comes in place of Clinton Kisiavuki.
The man shot who's going to Spain. That's a good shot, but off target. Yeah,
a good shot once again.
Talking of the Nakumatt squad, Peter, it's a team that you take for granted, probably because the name is the first time in the league. But when you actually look at the lineup, you actually get very impressed because when you look at Kelvin Omondi, Tusker, played for Moroni, played for the national team. Peter Nzuki played for the national team. Kefa Swani, Boniface Akenga was very solid at Nakuru All-Stars. Of course, we're looking at Omunuk. Ambulua coming in, very good experience from AFC Leopards. Now look at the bench, Peter.
Bench is one of, in fact, it is one of the most impressive benches in the league at the moment.
Yeah, so it actually tells you they have depth. So in the event the game doesn't go their way, they bring in bench power. Donald Mosotti once has been a KPL Defender of the Year. We are seeing Chris Wekesa played for Gor, the national team. He's also part of that bench. Charles Zoma has played for the junior team. Very solid player.
They get a free kick. And it's in the box. Somebody is rising high, leaving Waruru alone with the goalkeeper.
Oh, that's a foul on the keeper.
That's a foul on the keeper.
Risky, and I think we've talked enough about that.
I think it's the defending.
The defending is wanting for Nakumatt, and the sooner they fix it, the better, because they will get punished.
And I think Okinda is absolutely livid with his defense.
Of course, I'd expect a keeper to be very mad, because communication from the back is very key.
And the same player, Stephen Waruru, his positioning looks perfect in the box, and I think that is the place where a few of those defenders like Nicholas Major and Njoroge John, Eugene Mbulwa, I think they have not realized.
Yeah, so he's getting off his markers very easily.
Easily.
I think the quicker Nakumatt remember that this is your top scorer in the league so far, the better it is, because they can actually get punished.
I think that is one of the things that has evaded them.
Yeah,
Stephen Waruru.
Yeah, so there's so much pressure
dangerously in the box
on Nakumatt. It's a bit risky for them. Let's see what Ulinzi can do with this corner.
I can see Okinda is still very angry at his defense, and I think justifiably so.
He has to be mad, because as a keeper, when the defense does not cover you, you get exposed. And as a keeper,
you're blamed for every goal.
And as a keeper, you want to get out of the game with a clean sheet. So what do? Communicate to them, because you're the one who can see the mistakes they're making.
Most definitely.
Ambulo is not doing a very good job trying to mark Waruru. And I think it's
Waruru,
time that he gets reminded.
He's not the biggest of players, Stephen Waruru. He can pass anywhere. As the corner comes in, The goalkeeper commits himself and misses.
Not very well taken care of. I think they get another corner.
I think that is very basic.
Well,
If you leave your goal, make sure you touch the ball. It's just as simple as that.
that's very true.
Jackton Odhiambo there making one of the most basic mistakes.
Okinda rather, because we are on the.
Sami Okinda rather. I think
Odhiambo is safe on the other end, waiting for the.
Odhiambo is
waiting
the
for a
KDF on the
counter.
other end.
Yeah.
I think Matthew Otamax need to do something about Sami Okinda. And I think his timing of the ball.
Yes, that's very
A cross
true.
coming in again. And I believe they're going to have another corner here as we play the 13th minute of the game. It is Nakumatt versus Ulinzi. And later, we are going to have Madara United play Sony Sugar right here on Bamba Sport.
Peter, I think at this point we need to remind those who are just joining us that live on Bamba, first game of KPL. It's still 0-0, Nakumatt at home. We are Ruaraka, Ulinzi 0. But now that's the third straight corner for Ulinzi.
As
What
they
can
look-
they do with it?
I think when the kind of runs that Steven Waruru is making in the box is making the Eugene Ambulu very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's extremely uncomfortable. They're on the back foot right now. How well can they defend it?
Okay, our
it's a
fourth
matter
one
of wait
comes
and
in.
see.
I think the idea of defending is becoming most torturous for this side. I can see Akenga.
He's had to fall back to
He
actually
has
help
had
in
to fall
defending.
back to come and help his defense.
Well, but I guess that's what you call teamwork. That when you don't have the ball,
Yeah, sometimes, but it drains a lot of energy from the midfielders and the
well,
strikers.
it does. But what do? You have to come and support your team, come and help defending.
They got corner number 4.
Well, I think it's number 5.
the throw.
Corners, throw-ins.
All of them are set pieces, most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, as they get their corner number 5. They get their corner number 5, floated into the area. Very teasing cross there. But still Okinda is really seeing things that he doesn't like. As Mbongi Omar.
To no one in particular.
Mbongi Omar is coming.
Bit of wasted opportunity. Even Zuki, you're seeing Zuki has had to
Zuki-
go back
Zuki coming
try
to
and
help.
defend.
Omar Mbongi having the confidence to even come and attack.
Yeah, but what can they do with the counter?
Tasti, Robert Omonuk, believe he's Ugandan. This is one pitch that needs a lot of work, but still 0-0. Shot coming in there.
Good attempt. Off target once
Yeah,
again.
I think they're putting too much energy behind the ball.
So 14 minutes gone, we're still at 0-0. Nakumatt at home, hosting Ulinzi at Ruaraka.
Yeah, Nakumatt has been using this pitch as their home ground for a few matches now. Asking for a handball. What does the referee say?
I think that was a
whistle.
handball. From where I'm sitting,
I
clearly
always
see that was a handball. So they get a free kick. But how good are they with free kicks, Peter?
Yeah, how good are we as Kenyan football with free kicks? We can actually name 1 or 2 players who can actually
Bury the free kick.
vary free kicks.
Well, that's a long conversation. It will go back into the 50s, the 60s.
Yeah, if we go behind there, then we have a large number. But in the league now, there are very few Kahatas in this league.
Very few. I'll give you a story, Peter. Back in the 60s, when Elijah Lidonde was a Kenyan coach, he said he wished he could actually get someone who can score free kicks. Back in the 60s.
As we wait to see how this one is taken, Nakumatt planning their game. Let us see whether they will be able to bury this one.
I'd say that's a very good position to put in the free kick. What do you think, Peter?
This
Just
is an
off the edge of the
absolutely
box.
sweet position for someone who.
With a nice clean swinger, should be.
It is
home.
dangerous, but it goes Omonuk
Where it goes wide.
far wide.
You
That
didn't
is
have to
very
rub
far
it in,
wide.
did you?
from the word
from
go.
the word go.
I can see
But I think from that
there.
angle, Ronaldo maybe would have put it in.
Yeah, but
Probably.
for a non-United footballer, it is always going to be difficult from
It's a
that
bit
angle.
tight.
And I think there is some kind of supremacy battle in midfield.
Exactly. And I think it's now coming out very well. Some 15-16 minutes into the game. We did not see that in the early minutes. But it's good to see that because I think that's where the game will
Samuel
be won.
Nyango, Stephen Waruru. I can see Muloma Churchill. I think they are trying to string a few passes together as they kick the ball into the box.
Well blocked. It's off.
Ulinzi Stars have realized that Nakumatt are taking the game to them, and it's high time they went a gear above normal, because with the kind of football that Nakumatt has been playing in the last few minutes, then Ulinzi had better sit down and recognize.
But what do
And
they do
get
with
the
it?
ball in the box.
I think it was a bit unexpected to do
It was even a
meaningful
surprise
with
to
it.
the player himself.
Yeah, it was.
Jackton Odhiambo there, looking well fed, Jackton.
Actually, Peter, just before the game, someone asked, is that a keeper or a midfielder?
Yeah.
And someone said he's a keeper.
He's a
And then-
keeper we've known for some time now.
and then he reminded me that it is the same team that Onyiso played for. I was equally short. So is
No,
it a
in
thing
fact-
about...
In fact, let me surprise you. I know to you
Yeah,
this is
thing
not a
about
surprise.
Ulinzi, short keeper.
Let me surprise you, viewer. It is the same Onyiso is actually Jackton's coach.
So what will happen? Just take me through. If the ball came high, going to the roof of the net, what would he do? Would he dive and catch it? Would he dive, pause, continue from there?
I think to dive and to pause is safer.
Because at one go you wouldn't get it.
Oh,
Anyway, they say where a keeper lacks the height, they do not lack in reflexes.
of course.
And I think Jackton, remember he used to be at Gore before he joined the KDF. Been in the bracket of the national team for a few years. So I think he has the reflexes to actually get to some of those balls you're talking about.
Brian Birgen taking a free kick there for Ulinzi Stars. And he brings his
Well
serve in the
plotted.
box, and well floated in the box there.
Good attempt, but the header was a bit feeble.
Header was a bit feeble, but the question to me is, who took the header? Waruru is not the tallest of the players there to win
But
the
he
ball.
scored 3 times from his head.
Yes, I think defenders are
with
sleeping
his
in
lack
this
of
league.
height.
I think-
Yeah, but I think it just goes to show that so often in this game we've talked about those crosses coming from the right
But I also
and
saw
actually going straight to find Waruru. And I think that's a problem that Nakumatt really need to work on.
I think it's an international problem. I also saw Leo Messi head the ball into goal, standing next to Rio Ferdinand. So
So are you trying to say that Nakumatt defenders have picked up from Rio?
I'm saying it's an international problem where tall centre halves
So should there be
have no say where you have diminutive strikers.
should there be a state of emergency on
I think
on free kicks coming from the right?
I think defenders should be punished if someone shorter than you heads the ball in front of your face.
But
As they
Peter,
get
just
another corner? No, it's a goal kick.
a very quick opinion
Yeah.
for you so far. What did you say about the game?
I think this game, I will rate it at 50-50. Both teams are asking questions, but I think Nakumatt have been winning the supremacy battle in midfield.
But the defending
The defending is awful.
is
to say the
awful.
least.
Yeah, I think I'd concur with that. And I think we have to go back to the record. If you look at the record so far into the league, if you look at Nakumatt, as much as they have a very good home record, their defense has actually been wanting because they've conceded 12 times. And I think when you look at the kind of marking they have, you can actually understand why. I think that's something they need to tweak if they need to finish in the top 8 bracket, because that's their target for the season.
They're already ninth because they're not very far. But I watched their match here against Sofapaka. They actually conceded a penalty. They conceded a penalty because of some very lax defending, as they get a free kick now.
Oh, nicely taken, but what can you do with it?
Oh, looking for
Should that be a
another
free
one.
kick?
But the
No.
referee won't buy that. Now they are looking for Waweru Daniel. Waweru Daniel to Waruru. Jersey number 22. 10
and he
goals to his
actually wins
credit.
it.
He actually
how
wins
nice.
the ball.
I was going to say that was unfair if he didn't get that free kick, but I think he got it.
Yeah, the
And you can actually see when they
Coach Nyangwese is very concerned.
throwing up his arms. I think he was waiting for them to be denied that.
Yeah, he was.
Or is he complaining about
the treatment on Waruru?
Yeah, his striker being manhandled.
But he expects that. I mean,
Probably.
You're the top scorer in the league.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to
Daniel floats it into the area. Let's see what happens to this one, because they definitely will bring it back. I think if a player should be very keen on looking at how Ulinzi are playing their football, he will realize all balls from the flanks are coming as crosses. They are not passing anymore.
They're coming.
The minute they reach anywhere close to the box.
But you know, Peter, it's been working for them.
It has worked for them.
If you look at the statistics, Waweru Daniel, excellent player in terms of set pieces.
Most definitely.
And if you actually look at the statistics, he's the one who's leading in assists. So that means those crosses of his have been working, because they come and they find Waruru, and he'll actually place them with his head or with his right foot. So 6 assists is no mean feat for a player in this league.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
It means you have your eye on your colleagues in the box, and you know you have vision. You know who is at what time.
So are we talking about chemistry here? Waweru, Waruru,
Cargo. Those are people who I think they've played enough times together to be able to know each other.
To understand each other very well.
As they get a throw there, Nakumatt not enjoying themselves too much now. I think Ulinzi Stars have begun to show who the boss is in this game. Stephen Waruru with the wrong touch.
It goes back, Peter, to what you're talking about, the midfield battle, because you can actually see that Ulinzi actually coming out on top. And every time they do so, they get that ball to the right wing. So what does that tell you about Mr. Njoroge here?
I think he's one of the people who can spot people very well inside the box, and it is well if you supply him from the right, then he brings the crosses, and the Warurus of this world are waiting. It is very hard when the ball is up there, because when they go up, most of these players, once you know you want to win the ball, you want to win the referee's sympathy. And there they have it.
Is that one of the sympathy you're talking about?
Of course, most definitely, because just talked about it and the referee blew his whistle. And I didn't see the reason why he blew the whistle. How can they get a free kick? Ulinzi Stars, I think goalkeeper Jackton Odhiambo is coming to take it. Oh yes, it is well within his area. That's quite an ambitious one. I think with the Ulinzi of a few years ago would have started their game build up from behind.
Yeah, and move forward.
But I think even this, even their style is working for them, because the long balls have yielded good results for them. Being third on the log is no mean feat.
You know, as much as the last 3 games haven't looked really good, because they come with a form of a loss, 2 draws.
And 2 draws, yes.
But they're third, only 3 points behind Posta Rangers, who are now leading after yesterday's win. Yeah, so they're looking good, and I think they're within that bracket of being considered as the teams that can potentially win this league.
Yeah, most definitely, because even if you look at the point difference, is actually very small, and this goes to show that the top 3 teams in the league are some of the teams that we believe will get the winner from.
Well, it's still early days. I think there's about 20 games to go. You know, this is a marathon. Remember, we are just coming through June, where a lot of teams revamped. So how you judge a team before June and after June is very different.
It's most definitely different, because you don't know how they're going to gel together with the.
Look at Western Steamer. They brought in a very new, fresh pair of legs, most of them from Uganda. And look at what they did to the champions yesterday. Who would have expected the Western Steamer before June to actually take on Tusker and beat them?
Yeah, they surprised me the way Nzoia did in the first game. I think we judged Jackson Odhiambo too harshly. going by how he collected that one. Kago with the cross looking for Waruru in the box. I think Eugene Wambulwa this time knew exactly where Waruru was, and he did not quite allow the ball to fall on his head.
He knew exactly where to position himself, and he cut it out before it even got to him.
But his
I think we've seen instances where he's actually the one who's behind the striker, which should not be the case.
You know, in football, you never learn on the job, and
you get punished on the job.
You get punished on the job, and that is what Ambulwa almost did. He's trying to learn on the job, because I think this is the first time I've seen him standing correctly in the last 27 minutes of the game.
Aren't you a bit harsh on the player?
No, I think I like him too much. I like defenders. I enjoy what defenders do, because a certain coach once told me there's no striker who is not dangerous. So if you're a defender, you're dealing with very dangerous people.
So you need to be aware of that all the time.
You have to be aware of that all the time. And you're dealing with people you fear, the world fears, and nobody fears you. They find a corner from somewhere, this Nakumatt side.
So we've seen quite a number of corners for Ulinzi. They've not made use of them.
Let's see this one coming low and hard, but I think it was not kicked very well.
Yeah, it was low, straight into defenders. Could not trouble those defenders.
I think this boy is a bit too fit.
He's very fit. Very fit. Oh!
They almost get a goal. They almost get a goal.
Almost.
Always dangerous, Stephen Waruru. Always dangerous, because he found Kago. He found Kago, and if it was not for just one touch, Mulama Churchill would have shaken Okinda's net. Cross comes in again.
I think that's the danger that Ulinzi carry into this game. You can see that Waruru has actually moved to the flank.
Yeah, from the center to the flank.
And you can see he's doing exactly what Waweru has been doing. And that was close. I think that was one of those chances they should have actually buried and taken a lead in this game.
That is why I'm saying even Onyango Kennedy, Eugene Ambulu, they're beginning now to look like serious defenders, because that one coming in the first 5-10 minutes of this game would have been
a goal. Yes, that's true. I think they've gotten their confidence after those first early scares.
Out comes goalkeeper Jackson Odhiambo. I'm still maintaining I judged him a bit too harshly
because of his height.
I think that there is a reason why we used to let him be there. There was definitely had to have a reason. Playing very well, Samuel Onyango, wearing jersey number 7. I think he has not been losing too many balls in the center of the park.
No, he hasn't, and in fact, it's part of the reason why that midfield is actually ticking. And remember, this is a player we didn't know too much about.
Yes.
Until very recently. And suddenly he rises and is set up with the national team. I think so far he has, well, if I look at the statistics, is it 3 assists or 3 goals?
He has 3 assists.
3 assists. So you can actually tell you that actually builds up to how Waruru eventually becomes the main man for Ulinzi.
Yeah.
Because that's a podcast of Sami Onyango. I think they call him Daddy.
Yeah, they call him Daddy.
And Waweru.
And Waruru.
And they all form part of that core cog of Ulinzi's offense.
Yeah.
We're not talking about is the best in the league.
It was you was counting those corners. Are they 7? They kept corner number 6. Number 6 coming to be taken by none other than Waweru Daniel. I can see jersey number 19 there, Omar Mbongi. Comes in teasingly.
Ooh.
It is so dangerous there. Nakumatt FC 0, Ulinzi Stars 0. We are in the 32nd minute of the game. Still no goals. Mbongi, one of the players, Muhammad Hassan, jersey number 10. There are some years ago we used to find jersey number 10 was given to only a select few.
You Maradonas.
A select few. I would expect like Waruru to be wearing jersey number 10.
Not 22.
No, not 22. 22 should be a defender somewhere, on the bench somewhere. Okay, I can see referee Peter Waweru. It's a businessman from Juja, Kembu County. He's being assisted by Mary Njoroge as assistant referee number 1. And assistant referee number 2, Stephen Odwar. As Mohammed Hassan prepares to take the free kick for Ulinzi Stars. Looks in the box, and let's see what he brings into the area there. Stephen Waruru misses. Still trying Ulinzi Stars. I believe they want a goal so badly before halftime.
Yeah, you can even see now the coach is on his feet. I think he's getting a bit frustrated. They've been too much on this end, but there's nothing to show.
Especially with the kind of defending that has been done, I expect to have a goal.
Yeah, you'd expect, especially those early minutes, you'd have thought that Ulinzi would have punished that Nakumatt.
And it's very quiet on the Nakumatt bench.
It's really quiet. Well, I think we know why. They've been on the defensive more than on the offensive.
But having the Kefa Swanis of this world in the team, I think you should be a bit more offensive, because you know you've got the firepower, definitely.
You got the firepower, but where is it? Where is it that we're not seeing too much of Aswani? That's the question. We go back to the midfield battle where Ulinzi is controlling it very well. And
yeah, after the first 10 minutes, they really took it by the horns.
Yes, and if Aswani does not get those passes that he needs to get the goals, then that's why he gets a bit lost. So then Nakumatt bench should be quiet in the sense that they're on the back foot, but they've not conceded.
I think Ulinzi Stars have just discovered the secret of cutting it from the source.
Yeah, that's true, because we've seen that time and time again. There is another example. That's
another example. Kefa Aswani not being allowed any space.
So I think Ulinzi did their homework quite well there, because once they cut off those supplies to Aswani, then they cut off that threat in defending.
A very big percentage of the threat is cut as they go into the box there, but goalkeeper Jackton Odhiambo. Again, I must admit, that he's really put on the kilos like Kirumba here. But I ain't no football player.
Which Kirumba? The one I'm sitting with?
I'm not saying it's allowed.
Is it some consolation to overeating, maybe?
I really need I really need consolation.
Yeah. There's another case of the midfield. Ulinzi coming out tops on the 50-50 challenges.
I think if you go on a 50-50 challenge with the KDF, most definitely you're never going to win.
You'll get beaten.
You definitely
so what do you do then? Would you want to avoid?
Look for referee sympathy like that, like what the referee says no. Waweru Daniel looking far and wide for help. Kanzonyango Samuel, and the ball is cut out for a throw in for the Ulinzi side.
That was good defending.
Absolutely spot on. Another cross coming into the area, but Ambulwa and company have now, I think, managed to understand how these crosses are coming and how teasing they can be as they kick the ball out for another throw in for this Ulinzi side. They've been doing a good job streaming good results, Nakumatt, but today it looks a bit difficult. Nyangweso and company are in town.
Oops.
And that would have been a disaster.
It would have been. But I think all said, as much as they looked shaky early on in the game, you can see that now they've understood Ulinzi are getting the balls in midfield.
I think the nerves
and slinking them to the wings, either the right or the left. I think Nakumatt defenders are doing a very good job just trying to cut them out.
Yeah, there is no other way because of 2 or 3 scares of the first few minutes. as the cross comes in. Look how confident they have become.
Very confident. But can they build it up going forward?
Most definitely.
I think they can. I think that's one of those.
I think they can.
That's what their bench would expect to see. But then they lose the ball.
Yeah, but sometimes I really enjoy it when I have a coach that is always on his toes and always gesturing to his players, and you see a coach that is involved in the game. But Anthony Mwangi seems to be very comfortable there. I think his game plan is working. Make sure you don't concede in the first half, maybe?
Well, could be the case considering how they began. I think a lot of pep talk during halftime and a bit of tweaking, especially of that defense.
Yes.
We should be able to see a better Nakumatt in the second half.
Okay, I can see Lefty going for the ball very slowly. It's like he knows it's almost half time. Doesn't know he's got a lot of time in his hands.
Well, it's a lot of minutes to halftime.
It's a lot of minutes to halftime.
Especially
if you start wasting time at this time.
Especially the clock is yet to hit 40 minutes. It's a lot of time to halftime.
It's a lot of time.
And there's nothing, Peter, there's nothing as good as trying to get that goal just before you get to halftime. It gives you better impetus when you're coming back for the second half.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's what these two teams will actually be looking out for, to get that late goal going to the breather.
Yeah, because you come in the second half trying to kill the game over. While your opponent is chasing you, you're trying to kill it, and it gives you an edge. But if you put early in the second half again, it brings you a lot of pressure. It's always a seesaw kind of a relationship with teams that are leading at halftime.
But that's the nature of the game. That's why you have 90 minutes. So it's how you maneuver through those minutes into the halftime and after halftime.
Jackson Odhiambo, now I think he's a bit relaxed. It's been a few minutes since he even touched the ball. But in the first few minutes, I think he was touching the ball faster than the second hand was ticking. There's a player down. That must have been an off-the-ball incident.
Probably, I think we missed it, and
it must have been
I'd be happy to see
ball.
it again. But are we seeing too much of that, Peter?
Yes, there's too much drama on the pitch.
Too much of getting bumped off the ball.
Even wanting to be bumped off the ball.
Is it a matter of strength here, fitness?
No, I think it's just a matter of psychology.
But it's what you said. If you go against an Ulinzi player, then
if you go against,
you're bound to come out second best.
Most definitely. When you talk about stamina, fitness, and resilience, there's nobody like a Kenya Defence Forces officer.
Well, there's no doubt that they are very fit, and I think they came with a plan for this game. You can see they've controlled the midfield really well. It's only.
It's even funny when you think about it this way.
There's nothing to show so far.
Yeah, there's nothing to show for anything as Jackson Odhiambo decides to give it a long lob. Onyango Kennedy has been very, very quiet in defense today. Just a few balls here and there.
Yes,
but
that's very true.
As they try with Muloma Churchill into the box, you see. The best they can do is kick the balls out without even looking where those balls are going, because most of the time when they get the ball off their defense, this Nakumatt side, it goes and actually it's taken by a Ulinzi Stars.
I think that's
a challenge on Aswan. Let's see how it plays out.
I could actually tell his frustration.
You can actually even guess what he said. If he said anything.
He must have said a lot.
Definitely.
Just that we can't hear from where we are, but he must have. And I think it got worse when the whistle didn't go his way.
Yes. There's exactly what time he expected the whistle, and he didn't hear it.
Yeah, and he didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I think even before he threw up his hands,
Brian
he expected
Birgen
to hear that.
With Muloma Churchill, 18, Onyango Boniface. I think there's some kind of urgency in this Ulinzi side now. Okinda again coming to save Nakumatt. Don't you forget he's under the tutelage of the legendary Matthew Otamax, the goalkeeping coach here at Nakumatt. So you can say both goalkeepers are in very safe hands.
Yeah, extremely safe hands. Both international keepers turned into keeper trainers. If you look historically, I think Jackton, as much as Otamax was one very key player for the national team. If you look at history of Kenyan football, actually.
Cross comes in well, and it's out.
And it's out. Yeah, so I was talking about if you look
Actually
at the history of Kenyan football,
to drop inside.
to dink inside.
It would have been a very funny goal to concede for.
Yeah, so let me just. So I was saying historically, we look at history of Kenyan football. Onyiso is actually Kenya's most capped keeper.
Of course.
In the years that he played, under very several coaches. So I think Jackton is in very good hands. Very experienced keeper. Played under so many national coaches.
As they come into the box there with Stephen Waruru. Onyango Samuel. A deep teasing cross there. Okinda up in the air, but you never touch the goalkeeper. You never touch a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think that would be a foul on the keeper.
That's a foul
definitely.
on the keeper.
But haven't we seen that scene severally?
Yeah, I think 4 to 5
Lindsay from
times.
the right, bringing in the cross, unchallenged. And I'll go back and ask you at this point, considering that John Joroge is on the left side for Nakumatt, is he being overwhelmed?
Most definitely, I think
because
he's
that
not.
now becomes a question. We've seen Waweru there, very easily getting the ball, getting the crosses.
Waruru
has been there. Same thing.
Now Onyango Samuel. I think John Joroge is not the John Joroge we used to know.
But probably not. His winger, is he falling back in good time to actually give him cover? And I think that's where the problem is. And for Nakumatt coming to the second half, I think that is one of the positions they need to have a look at.
Yes, because it is one area that could actually cause them a lot of problems.
Yeah, because it's too exposed, and I think that needs to be sealed, because that will also help them to actually build forward and try and get these goals that they're looking for. Remember, in the last 4 games, Nakumatt has not failed to score twice in their last 4 home games. And that's how they've beaten Sofapaka, Mathare, Chemele,
and today they are not even troubling Jackton Odhiambo.
Well, they've not. In fact, we've hardly seen any shot on goal that would have troubled Jackton.
Nyangweso's boys look very fit because you see, in that one wing that we've mentioned, look at Joroge there. Look at John Joroge. You see, the best he could do is shield Onyango Samuel out. The challenge between the two, maybe he would have lost.
Most likely, he's lost so many, and I think that would have repeated itself.
Yeah.
Getting into halftime.
Nakumatt or Ulinzi Stars or. We are reaching the halftime break. Still goalless at Ruaraka, your own Bamba Sport. It's live and it's free. Now, our first half is gone, and most definitely we've seen some good football. We've seen some confident football going forward. But do you think this match would have needed to have a goal at least?
I think it should have. Ulinzi has been to the Nakumatt box severally. They've had the chances. We've seen some near misses, balls going up. But I think they could have done better given the chances. Because remember, you don't get too many of these chances in a game. So the few that you get, you need to bury them. It reminds me of a game Kenya played against Namibia back in the 90s.
Yes.
I think 97. Where Namibia only had one shot on goal and they scored and beat Kenya 1-0.
Okay, we are going into halftime. It's Nakumatt FC 0, Ulinzi Stars 0. Ulinzi Stars draw the first blood in the 48th minute of the game. Ulinzi Stars draw the first blood in a relatively very easy ball for Okinda to handle. Miscalculated, and there they are, leading 1-0. They get the first goal, Ulinzi Stars. It was a very easy ball. Brought in, goalkeeper Okinda going high there. Touched the ball. It was very easy. And there they've got it. First goal for Nakumatt. The ball is kicked out for a throw in for this Ulinzi Star side. Onyango Samuel with the ball. Very well played by Waweru Daniel. One of the attackers in chief for Ulinzi Stars this afternoon. Still 1-0. Played 49 minutes of the game. Nakumatt find themselves down. As they try to find each other. Ulinzi Stars always on the ascendancy in the first half, but this time at least they have the ball in the back of the net inside 3 minutes of the restart. Just 3 minutes of the restart and they lead, by a goal to nil. Nakumatt 0, Ulinzi Stars 1. It was always going to be difficult for Nakumatt coming into the second half, because towards the end of the first half, again, they looked like a team that was almost giving up. But there's still time. Jersey number 10, Mohamed Hassan, to take the free kick for Ulinzi Stars. Lobs it into the area. I think they have discovered the secret of beating this Nakumatt defense. Just bringing the high crosses, and it will always be difficult for goalkeeper Okinda and Eugene Ambulwa. Another throw they've got. Jersey number 19, call him Omar Mbongi. That is a Kenyan international. My colleague Korid says the name former is relative.
Yes, Peter, because you never know when they get recalled.
There he is, Omar Mbongi. You can see Cargo, destroyer-in-chief of Nakumatt, as they go down 1-0. Still a lot of time to either Ulinzi kill it or Nakumatt come back.
I think, Peter, the goal was always coming. Remember what happened in the first half. Defensively, Nakumatt were giving away a lot of space to Ulinzi.
Ulinzi were always on the ascendancy.
They're always on the ascendancy, and I think this time they got punished. One of those errors we kept talking about, but it looked rather too easy.
I expected Odhiambo to make the mistake, only for it to come from Samuel Kinda. A cross coming in favor of Nakumatt. Tries to head it in, Kefa Aswani.
I think that was a good cross. That's a good attempt. Remember, in the first half, we didn't have too many of Nakumatt testing Jackton Odhiambo in goal for Ulinzi. I think we've seen that at least it gave him some work to do.
Yeah, we are seeing a little bit better pound for pound football.
Yeah, and I think what the goal has done is that it's woken up Nakumatt, because now they know they need to claw back. I remember they're coming into this game with a history of 4 straight home games, 4 straight wins. They're on the back foot now. They did it against Sofapaka. Can they do it against Ulinzi? I think that's what they're planning for.
Okay, Stephen Waruru Very fast attacking player, this one. Looking very fit. The diminutive striker who's the leading scorer in the Sport Pesa Premier League. He has 10 so far and still looking strong enough. Remember, he was top scorer in the 2010 season with 13 goals. And as I said before, he's on 10. And we are only doing game number 16. Shot coming in there from Cargo John. Good turn. They throw again, but the assistant referee looking at the assistant referee as he decides that it's a foul in favor of Nakumatt. Referee Peter Waweru coming closer to the players. I think he needs to speak to them one-on-one. Nakumatt get a free kick in a very dangerous area. Could they make this number 2? Could they make it number 2? I've seen goals coming out of worse situations. This one for a good kicker should be very interesting. Still waiting to see what will happen in this one. Can they make it number 2? The ball is lobbed into the area, but it's too long, too wide, too high. Too everything wrong.
See, that is such a wasted effort. I thought that was an angle where they could bury that.
Yeah, because
double the advantage.
Like I was saying, I've seen goals come out of less dangerous positions.
Yeah, but I think they've wasted it. That was a good chance to go 2 up. But anyway, we still have minutes in this game. Maybe they'll try and pile on and get the goals they're looking for to win this game comfortably.
10 minutes of the second half gone. Still, Ulinzi Stars lead 1-0 against Nakumatt. Good control coming from Zuki Peter, but all the same, the ball being aimlessly kicked away very far from the goal area. Nothing dangerous. Goalkeeper comes out, Jackson Odhiambo. Now he can be able to relax a bit because his team is leading by a goal to 0. Gives it a long lob. Passes through the midfield. Good control there. Very good control there coming from Daniel Waweru.
A lot of space, you may say.
And you can see again,
Sam Okinda looks like his confidence has gone low after he considered
looking tense in the second half. But maybe he's going to settle his nerves like his defense did in the first half. Nice touch, Stephen Waruru. Always causing problems in defense. Whatever Nakumatt is doing, they have packed everybody between the midfield and defense. It is always dangerous. Mohamed Hassan concedes a corner. They concede a corner. Getting another corner in the 57 minutes of the game. Referee concerned about something. I think there was some push and shove right there in the box. Kefa Aswani. Cross coming in from the corner. Jackson Odhiambo saves the day for Ulinzi Stars. Better football from Nakumatt now. I think they have been awakened by the goal.
Yeah, I think we're seeing more purpose in the sense that now they have to come back and actually get a goal in this game. considering what they considered was a bit too easy and too cheap.
I think it was 100% Okinda's mistake.
Most definitely, but you also have to ask, as the ball went that way, his defenders kind of did not protect him that much.
Most definitely. They should have considered in the first half, but as fate would have it, it is not making life very easy for the Nakumatt defenders there. Njoroge John, Eugene Mbulwa, Onyango Kennedy really having a rough time.
You can actually see, Peter, that they're still shaken from that goal they conceded, but they're trying to build up their own game, trying to move forward. We didn't see too much of this during the first half, and it's a wait and see if they can get to equalize and actually get to pick the win as they've done in their last games, especially against Sofapaka.
We still have a lot of time to see whether Ulinzi will be able to kill this game. Oyo Joshua comes in place of number 46 Boniface Akenga. Jersey number 99 Joshua Oyo comes in.
We are seeing a very well and tested midfielder. This is played for Sony before, has played for the national team.
I think it is just about time.
I think it was time for them to solidify the midfield.
In fact, to tighten the midfield a bit.
Yeah, because in the first half they lost many of those battles against Ulinzi. And I think that once they get that, we've been seeing too much of Aswani not being used in the right way. And I think the coach has decided that
in
once
this
Oyo
game I'm calling Aswani my long lost friend. I think Waruru was offside. Good call by the referee. Starting a one-on-one, Nakumatt stringing passes nicely. Very good football there coming from Nakumatt Football Club. A more confident Nakumatt now. At least they know now they have to chase a game. A little tight.
Okay. I think that's a chance for Nakumatt.
And it becomes one-on-one with the keeper, and they equalize. An absolutely fantastic pass. Coming there. Nyangweso is not believing what is happening here as Nakumatt equalize.
I think just equally the way Nakumatt considered a very easy goal, I think that was equally easy for Ulinzi to concede. And you can see the shock on the coach.
But the pass,
I think he's asking questions. Why? What happened? Why did you let him lose?
The pass came as a surprise. They did not expect such a pass into the box. Goalkeeper Jackson Odhiambo, as I told you before.
But this is a game you need to be alert at all points, especially in defending.
But the kind of confidence that they exuded in the last 3-5 minutes.
I think the goal actually spurred them, and you can see that the game has changed a little. You can see the purpose in Nakumatt, and they have the equalizer now. Can they go for the kill? I think that's what we're all going to look out for. They've done it before severally. I
think Gateri David will be coming in, because I can see Omonuk. I can see Omonuk being called to the bench, and I think that is the substitution that we're going to see now. Yes. Omonuk Robert is out, and in comes David Gateri, former City Stars player. David Gateri. Yes, confirmation there on your screen. Robert Omonuk goes out, and in comes David Gateri, jersey number 25. As Nakumatt show more purpose in this game now. Looking for Gateri with his first touch, and the ball goes out for a throw-in. It goes out for a throw-in for this Ulinzi Star side.
I think Peter is seeing more purpose in the Nakumatt midfield.
In the game in general, I think both teams are beginning to enjoy their game now.
That's very true. We're seeing more purpose in the first half. Lost a lot of those battles in midfield, as you said before. And I think now you can see that the coach, Mwangi, he's trying to bring in the players who can turn this game around.
I think it's
so
a tit for tat, tit for tat kind of substitution. And it has been good since Ulinzi scored the goal. Both teams went a gear higher, at least, to try and make it equal. And I believe this is the time that both teams are going to prove themselves, especially their attacking prowess. As the ball goes into the right wing there. Waiting in the wings there, but there was nobody, and the ball just goes out wide for a goal kick. Nakumatt starting to string their passes there confidently, especially after the equalizer. Kefa Swani there, and the ball goes out for a throw. We are looking at jersey number 19, Omar Mbongi. Nyangweso hasn't sat down since the match started, showing a lot of concern. Coach Nyangweso. Omar Mbongi coming to throw, and it's dangerous there for Nakumatt. Again, John Joroge lost in this one. Omar Mbongi with a cross. Nothing to write home about as they try at least to bang them from a distance. A good one there by Samuel Onyango. But Eugene Mbulwa was always there. Kefa Swani moving dangerously into the area, but took too much time on the ball.
I think that was a real chance that he had there.
Yeah, he became a bit slow.
Given the kind of striker that we know, but I think he waited a bit too long and he lost that opportunity.
Yeah, he gave the defense a time to catch up. I would have loved to see what he would have done on the ball even before the ball touched down.
Oh yeah, I think he took 2 moments of indecision that has actually cost his team a real chance to actually go up.
You see what happened to cost the goal? Goalkeeper went too early, and that's what caused the equalizer. There's a player down.
You also have to admire the fall-off, because that would have been a chance that easily a striker would have left.
Definitely, especially
the keeper will get it, but then he had the mind to still go ahead.
Shows a lot of purpose.
Yeah, and actually go the rebound and put it home.
There's a player down. I hope it's Stephen Waruru. No, it is jersey number 18, Onyango Boniface. Boniface Onyango. The referee stops the game, and we will wait and see where the referee is taking the ball, because it is very far from the scene of the crime. It is very far from the scene of crime. Let us see what happened here. Sony Sugar. Madhar United, Sony Sugar coming up next. After this one, you can see them warming up there. As we continue the Nakumatt Ulinzi, still 1-1. And they find a free kick coming to be taken there by Mohamed Hassan. Lobs in a long one into the area, but the ball, without a touch from anyone else, goes out for a goal kick. I think they're beginning to midfield and lobbing the balls straight into the box. Ulinzi Stars.
Sometimes they say the best way to to bypass a very tight midfield is that you start lobbing those balls. So you get them off from, if it's a set piece, swing it to the wing has to try and cross it. So if the midfield is back, then that becomes an option for you to do.
Most definitely. They string a few passes here, Ulinzi Stars. They have a player down. What does the referee say? They have a free kick. They have a free kick, Ulinzi Stars. Back to their goalkeeper, Jackson Odhiambo. He has already conceded once. Okay. Brings in a long one. I think, as my colleague is saying, that the best way to bypass a very tight midfield is to lob those balls into the area. As Nakumatt get a throw in. Johnny Njoroge lefty with a throw. That one, according to Mr. Korir here, is most definitely a former Harambee Stars.
Well, we have many of them who are former, some are current, some expect to be called back. So that's why I said that name former is relative.
Some of them are in between collapse.
Yeah, but Peter, we're seeing a lot of change in tactics, especially Nakumatt now looking a lot more purposefully.
Most definitely.
Solidifying that midfield because they believe they can go forward. Gateri coming on, very good on the ball, especially on the right wing.
They really woke up after conceding the first goal, and you can see it didn't take them too long.
I think that really is what the game needed, a goal to spur the other team to react,
Most
to
definitely.
spur the team that scored first to also up their game.
And when you look at it, they were both goals coming out of very basic mistakes. One by a defender, the other by the goalkeeper. As they string a little.
Yeah, but I guess, Peter, this is the nature of the high-profile game, whereby
Most definitely.
You match each other in all departments, but then when there's a mistake, then you have to punish that mistake.
Yeah, because they don't come easy.
They don't come easy, so when they come, make a meal out of them.
As we get into the 70th minute, it's still 1-1 at the Ruaraka Stadium. I can see jersey number 28, Muloma Churchill, one of the boys that have been playing very good football in this match. The area is packed with defenders and attackers. Nakumatt 1, Ulinzi 1. 70th minute of the game. Nakumatt 1, Ulinzi 1. Very good football coming out of Nakumatt Football Club now. I think they are a bit more relaxed.
They're a lot more settled now after leveling the game. Because at 1-0 down, they were a bit disturbed. I think they've upped their tempo.
That is Harambee Stars tactician, Stanley Okumbi. Can see him. He'll be traveling to Spain very soon. And Kefaswani into the area. Kefaswani with a shot. Kefaswani alone with the goalkeeper there. Almost making it 2 for Nakumatt. Very good football. Ever since the goal was scored, Nakumatt is a totally different entity.
Oh, completely. And remember that those two substitutions have made quite a big difference. Joshua Yo coming in and David Gateri. And you can see their forward players really improved.
As Jackson Odhiambo is raided once again. We are seeing very good football coming out of John Cargo there, just number 8. Nakumatt stringing a few passes there, Kefaswani. I hope they're going to bring another cross into the area there. Still taking his time. And a wasted ball there. Arrived on the foot of Churchill Muloma. By the way things are going here, Ulinzi Stars are being a bit overwhelmed by Nakumatt in midfield. Playing a good game there, Muloma Churchill, jersey number 28. They're trying to string a few passes together, at least to get their confidence back.
Yeah.
This Ulinzi Stars side.
It helps you settle as you look around for what your options are. But I think just to give an update on the game is 73 minutes in, Nakumatt, the home team, 1, and Ulinzi, the visiting team, at 1.
Yeah, ever since they equalized in this game, Nakumatt has looked the better side for 15 minutes or so. Still again looking to cause trouble here. Very good football coming out of Samuel Onyango. Steven Waroro in the box, trying to get past Eugene Ambulwa with a lot of difficulty, I must say. It is becoming very physical in midfield. The last 3 fouls have come out of the center of midfield.
Yeah, but remember, this is what we saw in the first half.
In the first half.
And we kept talking about it, that every time you come against a white shirt, you're bound to come out second best.
Oh, most definitely. And now they get a corner. They consider corner, Ulinzi Stars. Let's see whether Nakumatt will be able to use this one. Let's see whether they will be able to use this one to their advantage. Let's see what happens. I can see Kefa Aswani. Kefa Aswani communicating with the corner kicker here. And the ball is lobbed into the area, but it was supposed to be a very easy catch for Jackton Odhiambo, but he still spills it.
Well, but he got it again. But that was risky because we've seen the 2 goals scored so far were errors from the keepers.
Yeah, and especially
one thing from his opposite end, Okinda. And
especially during a corner, there are too many legs in there.
There's so many, and people rising up trying
and
to.
If you spill the ball in the middle of so many legs there, you don't know which one will touch the ball into your net.
It could be a Swannies. You never know.
It could be, the most definitely. As Ulinzi Stars start asking questions again, a shot coming in there, almost deflected into the net.
It was a bit feeble, could have been better, but I think Okinda reacted best to actually make sure that Nakumatt didn't concede a goal.
75 minutes on the clock. Still Nakumatt 1, Ulinzi 1. What a game of football in the second half. 2 goals already. 2 goals already and better football. As Korir had promised you towards the end of the first half, that second half always promised to get better.
Yeah, definitely, Peter. Seeing, actually like how Nakumatt read this game, realized that Robert Omuluk and Boniface Akenga were being marked out with the Ulinzi defense. And the replacements, you can see a very different Nakumatt this time round.
Most definitely, especially in the last few minutes, they've been doing very, very well from the midfield coming up. And you can see the touches that, you know, they are sure touches.
Yeah, I remember in the first half, the battle was actually in the midfield.
Long shot coming in there.
Now we are seeing that Nakumatt getting a bit of an ascendant in that department.
I think they have even locked out Ulinzi Stars and they have opted to start shooting from a distance. That was very good. The kind of confidence they exuded after losing 1 goal. Coming into the time when they came to equalize. Jersey number 19 playing very good, Omar Mbongi. Playing with Onyango Boniface. Trying wide. 28 Muloma Churchill. Plays it wide. Trying to look for a second goal here. Trying to look for a second goal. It was most definitely going to be a better second half. A shot comes in there, but nothing to write home about. Jersey number 19, Omar Mbongi. with a pass that was going, most definitely going nowhere. A shot coming in there. Stephen Waruru tries to control it, but it was a bit too hard, and the ball is kicked out for a throw.
I think as much as we're seeing Ulinzi on the attack, we are seeing also a very confident Nakumatt defense, trying to cut out everything that is coming out at them. So they're stalking it very well and just making sure that they cut out that challenge.
I think Nakumatt have known the secret of shutting out Ulinzi Stars. Most of their players are behind the ball, which is a bit dangerous according to me. John Njoroge, lefty, formerly of Sofapaka. If you remember him, he used to be a Sofapaka left back. John Njoroge, earning him a call up to the national team, Harambee Stars. In the year of 2012. Okay, they get a free kick to put one into the area, and we see what happens here. Very poor execution there coming out of Mohamed Hassan. That was a very poorly taken free kick.
Well, you thought we could see better. Remember, right into the second half after they scored the first goal, they got a similar free kick and didn't put very good use to it. So I think it raises a concern about Ulinzi and how they attend to their set pieces.
Another substitution in the offing. I think that is Enosho Cheng. Enosho Cheng coming in for Nyango Samuel. The confirmation is right there on your screen. Very good ball coming in there, but
it's high and out. Enosho Cheng, so far into the season, he scored twice. He's below the pecking order of Waruru at 10, Samuel Onyong at 3.
Of course.
So he's next in line in terms of goals. And I think now Nyangwesa has seen that he needs goals, and he's brought in someone who has at least scored within the league.
Most definitely. Right now, the few minutes that we have remaining in this one are just minutes to look for the game killer here.
Yeah, you have to remember, Peter, that coming to this game, Ulinzi carries 2 draws. So far, though, it looks like it's just a third straight draw.
I think it is just.
But then, if you look also statistically, Nakumatt has won their last 4 games 2-1. So if you go by statistics, then you expect another goal to come in this game.
And most of the time, you know, Nakumatt are winning from a position of losing, you know. First they concede and then they score twice. Yeah, they did against Sofapaka right here about a week ago, because they were down 1-0. Very strong bench there from Nakumatt. Cross coming in. Nobody heading the ball towards goal. And Ulinzi Stars have their goal kick. Kago having fun with himself there. Goalkeeper Jaton Odhiambo with a very long goal kick, looking for Kago, misses with the header. Waruru Stephen, 10 goals to his credit, but his cross didn't really materialize into a good Kago. Good control. Jersey number 8, John Kago there. Born and bred in Thika, this boy, John Kago. (28) Muloma Churchill. Ball goes out. Goalkeeper starts it. Sami Okinda. I'd almost forgotten his name. He's not even playing football, Sami Okinda, ever since the mistake that caused the goal.
Yeah, I think once those substitutions came in, we're seeing a more purposeful Nakumatt. And I think they've woken up in terms of midfield, which means very few balls are coming to the defense. and which means Okinda has very little then to do because all the challenges for Ulinzi are being contained.
Very positive football coming in from the second half, especially after the goals. We are seeing both teams enjoying themselves. Positive football. Nobody is lying behind. Good touch there, but still John Cargo playing football that is very, very hard tackle there coming in from John Cargo to Ronald Musana. Musana with the ball again into the box.
Oh, nice
one or two
too.
touches, very good wall pass touches in the area, but with just not purpose. Absolutely nice football. A good one, but sometimes the legs just won't carry you to get the ball.
I
They
think that was
concede a throw.
those are nice, neat passes by Nakumatt, but also Ulinzi did very well to just cut it out.
You know, sometimes your opponent can play it so well you begin to admire.
And forget to play on football.
Of course. It was very. That was a very hard tackle coming in there from John Cargo. Then at the same time playing the innocent card.
Of course, that's what you do.
Still 1-1. Teams evenly matched. Jackton Odhiambo with the ball. Wearing full black. Not in a hurry. Although his team needs a goal. He's not in a hurry to take the free kick here, Jackton Odhiambo. Very hard shot coming in there. But I believe there was a handball. Let us see the decision of the referee.
I think he's already awarded it, but time and again we've seen very well-placed set pieces, but nothing really coming out of them. And I think that is a department that Ulinzi really need to practice because that could actually have put them on a different level in this game.
Most definitely, they've had free kicks at very good positions. So if they had someone who could take that, then let us see. The referee Peter Waweru spraying the ground there, at least to mark the wall, the territory for the wall. I can see Waruru together with Daniel Waweru. Leaves it for Stephen Waweru. There's Waruru with the ball, and it's in the net. A goalkeeper saves it. Goalkeeper saves it. An absolutely fantastic dive there.
That was a perfect save because it was going in. It was going in.
It was definitely going in.
And I think he's done very well.
It almost took me off my seat. Because
it looked like a sure goal.
But I think this is the first well-taken free kick of the day.
From Ulinzi, that is.
From Ulinzi Stars. They get a
well.
corner, lobbed it into the area, and they get a second goal there. Ulinzi get the second goal there. Boniface Onyango bringing it for Omar Mbongi. Goes up in the air and heads it home.
I think they've quickly turned for that missed free kick.
And a very interesting dance there.
And immediately work on it and actually get the goal.
And a very interesting dance there by the soldiers. From the free kick to the corner, it was definitely coming, Corey.
Yeah, it has been coming, and I think the free kick gave. And for them to actually just lose that free kick and atone for it with a goal shows you the intention coming to this game, that they're really looking for a win.
Most definitely,
to kill off that three-game streak of a loss and 2 draws.
And there's almost no time wasted there by Nakumatt. They are all already in the Ulinzi territory. That's a positive. Jackson Odhiambo. The ball is high up in the air. Waruru had taken a very good free kick. And then immediately after, they get the second goal, Ulinzi Stars.
I think, Peter, you have to look at the time also. 3 minutes to go. Score a goal that takes you to the lead. You can imagine now what Nakumatt has to do in the next 2 or so minutes.
And it could be the number 3, and it's out. Omar Mbongi with a header, keeping Ulinzi Stars ahead. The referee takes his time in a very funny way, because the ball was supposed to have gone out. A nice one lobbied in the area, but whatever happened to Kefa Aswani, almost invisible in the D area. Very good football coming from both sides. The midfield has been the main battleground for the last 90 minutes. And definitely it looks good for Ulinzi Stars so far.
Definitely, having conceded that goal, having lost the battle of the midfield, but then coming back to actually take the lead at a very crucial minute when you have 3 minutes to go in the game. I think for them now it's just a matter of when is this final whistle coming.
Yeah, that is actually a reason why people concede goals, because all they're looking at is the clock. But so far so good for the Soldiers. They are hoping against hope that the referee is going to blow his final whistle. Jackson Odhiambo with a long one. He's decided to do away with his midfield completely. Very good control there coming from John Cargo. Looking for jersey number 18, Onyango Boniface. 19 there, Omar Mbongi, the goal scorer of the second goal. Low cross there, but Ambulwa wouldn't allow it to pass. Nakumatt losing their footing there after going 2-1 down. Ronald Musana on the right wing, Ronald Musana, but well taken care of by John Cargo. Musana coming to throw, and most definitely Ulinzi Stars have discovered the secret of wasting time, playing very slowly.
Well, at this point when
and a cross comes in, it could be dangerous, this one.
Yeah, you know, Peter, once it's clocked 90 minutes and you're leading and you got your goal very late in the game, what else do you expect? You're not going to be very offensive. You want to protect your lead,
almost walking with the ball,
because you came here for a win, and now that you have the lead, you'll want to maintain that position. You could try and go forward, lose the ball, and actually get to concede and have a draw.
We are looking at John Cargo now. He has had a very good time in the second half. John Cargo causing Nakumatt a lot of problems in midfield. The ball goes out for a throw, and I'm almost sure they're going to take a whole minute to throw the ball. Most definitely taking their time. Birgen, and the ball is lobbed into the box. Not even in a hurry, Ulinzi Stars. The referee decides to give them a throw, and they start very fast, Nakumatt, as a matter of urgency. That is Very positive of them. Muloma following there. Nakumatt looking like they want to do things very fast, which I believe causes people problems when you want to do things very fast and they're not happening. You get frustrated. A cross coming in the area. Aswani coming in late. Isn't that supposed to be a yellow card? Kicking the ball against a fellow player. Mohamed Hassan. But Kefa Aswani says, take it easy, man. I didn't mean that.
I think Peter seeing minutes ticking away, seconds now. Ulinzi, from where they sit, they've secured a win.
And definitely Jackton Odhiambo knows.
And for Nakumatt, it's a journey of very good home record. I think that's the final whistle. Safely say that Ulinzi has won this game 2-1. But for Nakumatt, Peter, is that this becomes their first home loss ever since they lost to FC Leopards back in March 3-0. Because they've had a very good record where they either win or the worst that they've been doing is a draw.
Most definitely, the soldiers have come all the way from Nakuru to get the 3 points coming out of the Roraka ground. Full-time score, Nakumatt FC 1, Ulinzi Stars 2. Very good performance coming from both teams, but definitely there's only one winner.
Yeah, and Peter, you have to admire Ulinzi's run. Remember, in the league, they had a loss, 2 draws, and very recently they were beaten 1-0 by Sony in the Go TV Shield. So to pick a win, I think that's a good result for them.
Okay. Nakumatt FC 1, Ulinzi Stars